Well, good evening, my friends, and welcome back. Cumberland Outdoorsman out here at my shooting bench once again with yet another 22 rimfire series video. You know, this afternoon I was driving home from work and it was such a pleasant afternoon. I thought I should make another 22 rimfire video because I just recently found some ammo that I wanted to put to the test, and here it is. This is CCI's Quiet Segmented hollow point 22 long rifle. And I know that their quiet ammunition is indeed very quiet and can be rather accurate in certain rifles and even in some pistols, although they are louder in pistols because when that bullet leaves a shorter barrel, there's still some unburned powder that escapes and makes a little bit more noise. But out of a rifle, these should do quite well. It says here it's a 40 grain bullet with an escape velocity of 710 feet per second. And if that's true, then these should be really quiet. I don't think I'll even need earplugs for this, because most of the CCI quiet ammunition that I've tested in the past has been quieter, quite honestly, than most air rifles. You know, I've got some spring piston air rifles that are definitely louder than this. And if this is truly the quiet ammunition that they advertise here on the box. So anyway, folks, let's put it to the test. I'm going to see how well this ammunition will hold a group. And also, we'll be shooting into some water jugs to see if that bullet will actually come apart, you know, if it'll expand and upset. I'll show you real quick. I'll take one out of the package. As you can see, they're individually packaged here. And they do indeed have a very generous hollow point there. It looks a lot like their mini mag loading because it has that copper plated 40 grain bullet. Of course, the mini mag is a 36 grain bullet, I believe, traveling at much higher speed and making considerably more noise. So I'm interested to see how well these will perform. So let's give them a try. Let's test them first of all at my 25-yard target, and then we'll shoot into some water jugs and see if they do indeed expand. Today I'm shooting one of my old Remington bolt action model 581s. This is a 1967 model, I believe, and it's topped with a Bushnell 6-power banner. So let me get focused in on this target down here and we'll see what kind of groups this ammunition can shoot. Okay, like I said, I've got a 25-yard target tacked up down here. We'll get zoomed in on that and we'll shoot at the first target on top. We'll shoot 5 shots into that. I've already leaded this barrel in, so it should hold a pretty good group at that distance. So here we go. Top target. Squirrels barking in the background there. These are indeed very quiet. Just make a little spat. That's about it. I can actually hear the bullet impacting the target down there. All right. Well, it looks like they're grouping pretty good. Let's see what the next 5-shot group will do. All right, here we go. Bottom target. Well, my friends, here I am back the following afternoon because I had to abruptly stop the video yesterday due to a severe thunderstorm that was rolling in here. You might have heard it approaching as I was shooting this target, so I had to hurry up and shoot that last 5-shot group because that storm was rolling our way here. I could hear the wind going through the tree limbs and everything, and I heard a little bit of rumbling in there too, and I was starting to worry what might be coming. And I'll tell you what, we've had them here before, and I don't like to use the T word, but there was a tornado that actually did hit just north of here yesterday. So that storm system did have some very severe weather that accompanied it. You never know. I mean, you just don't know when those things are going to hit. But either way, getting back to these targets, that was the first 5-shot group. Nothing to write home about, but, you know, still well within the vitals of any small game or vermin or anything like that at 25 yards. And then I shot another 5-shot group just before I had to stop the video, and the first shot went way high, and I don't know what happened there, but then the 4 consecutive shots after that all printed one tiny little hole there just right of the center bullseye. So that ammunition has some real potential, you know. So I'm going to continue testing it, and I found another target that is appropriate for this video. Here I've got a rat target. This is a big sewer rat here. The kind of vermin I'm talking about, something that you would have to eliminate, you know, if it ever got into your barn or wherever, or if you're just out shooting rats. That's a pretty good sized rat right there. I don't know if I've ever seen one that big around here. I'm sure there are places where they get this big, if not bigger, and some of you folks out there probably know of some big rats or have some big rat stories to tell, so share them in the comments below. But either way, we're going to shoot 5 shots into each target here to see what kind of groups we can get, once again at 25 yards. And then right there downrange, I've got some water-filled cans we're going to shoot that ammunition into to see if we get any expansion, and if it does indeed segment like it says here on the front of the package. If it does that, then it's more than adequate even for rats of that size. So let me get this target put up and we'll take a few more shots. Okay guys, got that target put up. Go ahead and zoom in on it here. And we'll shoot the top target first that's on the left, the top left target. Here we go. I'm just going to shoot 3 shots at each target. I said 5, but we'll just shoot 3 for now. Okay, now the target on the right. Okay. Okay, here's one more round on that first target. All right. Now we'll shoot at the rat. Very low noise. Seems like it's hitting pretty hard down there though. Okay. Well guys, here I am at the target, and I gotta say that first shot didn't sound right. As you could tell, it sounded like a squib load or something, but that's where it hit right there, and I was aiming way up here. It fell way short, and I guess there wasn't enough powder in that case or something. But either way, I followed it up with 3 shots right there. One fell just outside of that target. I was trying to center them here, and then I had 3 shots right there in the bullseye, all 3 just about touching. And then I shot 3 more right into the vitals of that rat, and any one of those 3 would have been a deadly shot on that rat. So let me go ahead and zoom in on these cans that I've got set up down here. Give you a close-up here. And I'm going to take a shot while I leave the cans down here. And we'll see what kind of effect those rounds have on these aluminum cans that have water in them. They're water filled. So here we go. Well guys, from down there it sounded like a very satisfying kerplop as the bullet impacted, and there's the first can. As you can see, it blew it open. Let me back up just a tad bit. And then it looks like it already started to fragment, because there's a separate hole right there. A hole here, one here, and then one coming out here. And I'm going to assume this is the second can. So yes, definitely 1, 2, 3 fragments. There's the third can, and I hear some lead in there rolling around. We had 2 exits here, one here and one here. Okay, there's 1/2 of that round, or 1/3 of it I should say. Don't have any more here. Okay, I found another piece here in the grass. See if there's any more here. Well anyway folks, that's proof positive right there that those rounds actually do perform the way they're supposed to, judging by the way they impacted those water-filled soda cans. There's 2/2 or 2/3 of that bullet. I'm going to set these cans up down there at 50 yards, and we'll see what kind of effect that those rounds have at that distance. Okay guys, here we are at the 50-yard mark, twice the distance from where we tested previously, And I got 4 cans lined up right here. Let me go ahead and get them in the camera's view there so that you can see the impact. There you can see them lined up. I'll zoom in just a little bit. And I'll step back to the shooting bench and see if we can connect to those cans. Well, fellas, I just love the sound of that little bullet smacking into those cans. It just blop. Very interesting. Well, here was the first can that got hit, and I hit it perfect at 50 yards. I mean, I was holding right there, and that's exactly where that round hit. And there you can see there's additional exit holes, 1, 2, 3, at the rear of that can. There's the second one, and I hear something. Well, I just lost it. Anyway, there you can see where the projectiles entered that can and where they exited. There's the fourth can. And the fifth one remains somewhat unscathed. It's got a little bit of a rip right there. Now, let me see if I can find some of these fragments here. None to be found. Well, either way, I was able to capture 2 of them down there at the 25-yard mark. So let me get back to the shooting bench and we'll close out the video. Well, my friends, that brings us to the conclusion of yet another video. And I wanted to make this video for the .22 rimfire enthusiast that likes to use his rifle in a setting where you can't make a lot of noise. You know, you just can't get away with that very well. I mean, if you're close to town, you know, and you know someone that may have a rat infestation, maybe a farm or something, and you don't want to disturb the livestock or even his family too much, then these little CCI Quiets can be the ticket for you, especially the segmented hollow point bullet, because as you could see, these bullets definitely do come apart, and that's proof positive right there. I was able to actually capture some of the segmented sections of that hollow point. So, you know, even out to 50 yards, the terminal effect was pretty dramatic, even for a bullet traveling at only 710 feet per second. Here you can see, I've got these cans here. The initial impact was just as effective at 50 yards as it was at 25. I mean, the effect is almost identical. And I had no trouble at all connecting with that at 50 yards, folks. That's a dead center punch. And I could tell from that plop when that bullet hit that can down there, and I saw that spray of water, that I made a good hit. So if you choose to shoot small game or vermin out to that distance, you shouldn't have any trouble connecting. As you can see from these groups, this one here fell a little bit short. And on that first shot, I really don't know what happened. I think that was just a bad load. And that happens from time to time. It doesn't matter who the manufacturer is. That's where the bullet impacted right there. But it fell way short from where I was aiming. It may have been no powder in that cartridge. I don't know. I really don't know. But either way, all the other shots landed right in and around the bullseye there at 25 yards. And as you can see, all three of those would have proven more than lethal on that rat, even as big as he is. I don't know if that's the average size rat or if that's a large rat, but like I said earlier, there may be some of you out there that would think that's a small rat. I'm sure there's probably bigger ones than that. You know, some of the big sewer rats in these big cities will probably dwarf that one. I don't know. I haven't seen anything like that around here, but I'm sure that they get pretty good size in some areas. But either way, no matter how big they are, even if they were as big as this whole piece of paper here, those little rounds right there would definitely take care of the business. The CCI Quiet 22 segmented hollow point, made for someone that wants to be discreet, you know, in a situation. Maybe you're hunting a woodlot where you don't want to make a lot of noise. You know, you've got limited access to hunting ground and you don't want to go in there and just start blasting away. As quiet as these are, you know, you might as well be shooting an air rifle because the noise level is just about the same. And like I said at the beginning of the video, these are actually quieter than some of my spring piston air rifles. They don't make quite as high pitched of a pop during discharge, but the effect, I guarantee you, is more potent with these 22 caliber rimfire rounds than they are with any pellet, whether it's a 177 or a 22 caliber, because here you've got a 40 grain bullet traveling at 710 feet per second, where in an air rifle you've got maybe 14 or 16 grain pellet traveling at 900 to 1,000 feet per second. I know that the velocity is higher, but I guarantee you these will pack more punch. But whatever the sport is that you like to enjoy, have at it, because that's what being in the outdoors is all about. You know, even if it's eliminating vermin, because you're not only having fun for yourself, but you're also providing a service for someone that has an infestation. You know, you're trying to get rid of a pest, and that should be commended. And I'm sure you will be, especially for some of these farmers, you know, that don't want to put up with rats, especially if they get that size. You know, if they get as big as this one, I definitely wouldn't want them around my place. I would do everything I could to eliminate that. So anyway, folks, thanks a lot for coming along. I hope you enjoyed this video. And remember, if you like to go hunting, fishing, camping, shooting, hiking, no matter what your outdoor pursuit happens to be, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. But also remember this, hit that like button, smash the bell icon, and subscribe. That way you'll know when more videos like this one will be coming your way. So until next time, y'all take good care of yourselves and get out there and enjoy the great outdoors. I'll be seeing you.